We traveled down to Eufaula, Alabama, met Mr. Tom Mann at his plant, which is located right on the edge of Eufaula, and we're going to fish Lake Eufaula, or town. We're going to one of the two marinas on the lake. This is Eufaula Marina. The other marina is Florence Marina. It's located at the north end of the lake. Eufaula Marina is located, I guess, right about in the center part of the lake. These are the only two marinas that offer gas facilities and docking facilities. Now, there are several launching ramps and parks with camping areas where you can put your boat in, take it out of the lake, but you cannot buy any gasoline at them. So if you're planning to stay out in the lake a pretty good length of time or travel from one end of the lake to the other, make sure you have plenty of gas with you. They have fine launching ramps and good dock facilities. This Eufaula Marina is located right on the Eufaula Creek, which is one of a few main creeks on the lake. We pulled right out of the Eufaula Marina. Probably didn't go maybe 300 yards right out to the main part of the lake. We're fishing right underneath a highway bridge that runs between the city of Eufaula and Georgetown, Georgia. This was a long type of levee that they built up when they built these bridges, and seems to be a pretty good place to hold bass. Tell you a little bit about this boat, Tom. This is an 18-foot Ranger. We built for Tom especially for him, the way he designed it. Kind of red, white, and blue. You certainly wouldn't have a hard time finding him on the lake. He's operating with 150 horsepower Mercury. He likes to not waste time trying to locate fish when he's out on a fishing trip. Tom's sitting in the front of the boat, Forrest sitting in the rear of the boat. We've got a big ice boat for the live well, but if they catch a nice big one, they're planning on, I guess, putting them on ice immediately. Tom likes to operate all his boats with a hand-operated trolling motor, but he operates it with his foot. Kind of let Tom Mann be our guide here today. Of course, he fishes this lake quite often, living right there at the city. He can fish just about any time he wants to. The time of the year this film was shot, in the last part of February. We had a hard time actually establishing a pattern on the fish. By pattern, I mean where we can catch, say, 2 or 3 fish in a certain type area and then go to other type areas on that lake depending on catching them. We just kind of had a hit and a miss method. Tom here right now, he's throwing a little George, throwing it up against the rocks to kind of make this levee, pulling it off the rocks, hoping maybe a bass down there and pick it up. He just keeps that little George bouncing right across the bottom. When he gets tired of fishing that little George, he puts on a woolly bully, or he already has it on his other rod. Fishing the woolly bully the same way. We're fishing it right on the bottom. A woolly bully is a single spin type spinner bait, but instead of having a skirt body on it, it has like a little short worm. Actually, it's called a grub. It's Tom Mann manufactures. It has this little plastic grub on the back of this woolly bully. That's what he just caught that fish right there on, was a white one. It looks like it'd be a pretty good bait. Forrest Wood's not going to take long to get him one tied on, see if he can't reach out there and catch him one also. Yep, he sure did. Drop him in the live well and keep him. But that little woolly bully has been an awfully good bait all around the United States. That and the little George both have. Spring of the year, of course, spinner bait, you can fish it all different ways, but the way we're fishing it right here today is running it right on the bottom, picking it up and letting it fall, picking it up about a foot and letting it fall again. You notice this would be the type of method they're using all day long. Looks like Forrest might have had hit there, after he bumped a rock or a treetop or something. Notice Forrest is using casting equipment. Tom Mann in front of the boat using spinning equipment. Tom just likes spinning equipment. He uses it when he's worm fishing or any type of fishing he's doing. He always seems to be using a spinning rod. Tell you a little bit about Lake Eufaula. Main dam was completed in 1963. That makes the lake, say right now, approximately 10 years old. Here's a gentleman here out fishing today, just enjoying life like those two women were. He's been sitting out there with a cane pole and some minnows. Caught him some brim and got a little bass. I think he even had a little white bass on that stringer of fish. Just sitting out there in the sunshine, trying to take life easy. This Lake Eufaula, at the normal pool stage, covers approximately 45,000 acres, so it'll give you a pretty good idea. It's a pretty nice sized lake. Looks like Tom's got one on here at the front of the boat. Must be a pretty nice one. Here he comes up. Notice how Tom just takes his time, doesn't ever try to horse one into the boat. I think Tom's using about 12, 15-pound line on these fish. Caught this fish on a woolly bully. Maybe that's a little George. No, I think that's a woolly bully he's got in his mouth. Just ease him over to the boat. Pull him in. Yeah, that's a nice one. It looks like a keeper. Forrest walk back and drop him in the live well and see if we can get out there and catch another one. Tom's caught several nice fish right around this bridge. He had a lot of confidence in this spot, so we just spent a little time there and see if we couldn't catch another one. Notice how he just lifts that woolly bully off the bottom with a little jerk and lets it float down. As it goes down, he keeps his line tight. So if he does get a hit, he can feel it. He'll just bounce it like that all the way back to the boat. Keeps his eyes on the line constantly. Sometimes you can see a hit rather than feel it. If a fish hit it right at the height when he's lifting that bait up, he could see the line go sideways without actually getting to feel the fish hit the bait. Forrest is doing the same thing, so he's using casting equipment. Slowly working that bait across the bottom. they're just going to take this boat and ease it up and down this bank with that trolling motor and see if they can't catch a few more of them. Like Forrest might have got hung up here in the treetop. Amazing thing about this 18-foot Ranger, it's kind of new on the market. The boat's approximately, say, 2 foot longer than the 16-foot model, but it pulls just as easy with the trolling motor as a normal boat. Say a normal size boat. Pretty shallow draft. That little trolling motor will just yank it around right wherever you want to put it. Looks like you're going to have to break that one off. We pulled out to one of Tom's secret spots out here. Kind of out in a little open area. Had a little sunken island down there and had a little brush pile on it. Pulled around and located it with the depth finder and threw out a little marking buoy. Going to sit back now and fish that island a little bit and see if we can't pull a fish off of it. Yeah, looks like Forrest has got one on there. Taking his time, ease him up the side of the boat. We can't lift him in. Kind of get an idea there in the background how big this lake is. And it can really get rough on a windy day. There's kind of bad weather warnings out. You don't want to get too far from one of the marinas on this lake. It really gets the white capping, and you certainly don't want to be out there. We'll just set out in this island out here and see if we can't catch a couple more fish. Get a little company moved in on us here now. Looks like I think Tom's got one there in front of the boat, or maybe that's Forrest got one in the back. Yeah, I believe Forrest got one there. You can always spot Forrest in the fishing boat. He'll have on that cowboy hat. Nice bass. See what we've done. We've left that little island. We moved across the main part of the lake. We're fishing the flat area down now by an area called White Oak Creek. Real shallow water. Just pulled out off a little point. Sun got out a little bit and warmed things up some. Thought we'd try this area for a while and see if we couldn't pull in another bass or two. The lake was a little bit low the day we were shooting this film. Didn't do any good there in that flat, and Tom decided we can move, so we'd crank up and go to another spot. Catch one on our first cast. I tell you, that Tom man's some fisherman. He likes to fish them right up in the boat. And they just fish this area a little bit more. What they're doing is just a flat area with a bunch of stick-ups in it, a few little ditches running across it. They're just getting out there and drifting right in the middle of it and let the wind kind of blow them through it a little bit. Taking these little woolly bullies and little George and bouncing them along the bottom, see if they can't pick up a few more fish. Forrest Wood got in the boat building business, about 1968. Town of Flippin, Arkansas, where he was working as a fishing guide on the White River and on Bull Shoals Lake. Of course, he had a chance to fish out of many, many boats. Never found one that kind of suited him like he wanted, so he just took the task of building one himself. And a few more people, of course, saw his finished product, and they wanted one like his, and got some more orders coming in. He just ended up in the boat business. Of course, now today he's, I guess, got one of the finest reputations of bass boats in the market. Tom Mann used to be a game warden in the state of Alabama. He liked to fish so much and tried to design baits that he could catch fish that finally he just took a leave of absence from the Game Fish Commission and went in business and made a success of it. He's well known throughout the South. I guess he's well known now throughout the United States for his fishing abilities and for the fine bait he manufactures. Lake Eufaula is, you can sit in one area and catch them all day long, but this time of the year we had to move around quite a bit to locate any fish. And then we just pick up one here and one there. Like most all the fish were caught on this white woolly bully. Catching that line, real sensitive to the feel. Takes the slack up with his reel, gets it hung on a little limb, just kind of bounces it over the top. Ready to strike at any minute. This is what the majority of Lake Eufaula probably looked like. It's a flat lake. I guess the only deep water you'd say deep water in it is the main river channel. If you're not familiar with this lake, you certainly don't want to run up and down this lake wide open. There's an awful lot of underwater stumps and hazards. Several people have been hurt on this lake. Come on, Forrest, see if you can bring him around here. It's one thing about one of these boats, you just get up and walk around them whenever you want to. You got storage compartments to keep all your rods and tackle, equipment, everything out of the way. You don't have to worry about stepping on anything or breaking a rod. Nice little bass. Of course, this particular boat we're in here today is just one of many models that Forrest builds. Builds a 14-foot, 16-foot, and 18-foot, and all three of those come in many different versions of interior arrangements. Tom decided he'd let that one go. See, Tom just sat up there pulling that boat along so easy with that trolling motor. Well, it looks like the sun went down on the boys. They're going to head back into the marina, putting in a full day of fishing. Well, looks like they got so many on there, you can't get them out alive well. Got them on a stringer. Yes, sir, it looks like a nice mess of fish there. Give me a hand there for us there. Boys, the limit, state of Alabama is 15 bass per man. These boys don't quite have the limit here, but they certainly do have a nice string of fish. That biggest one they got on there, they weighed him and went right at 7.5 pounds. Of course, they've got a wide variety, all the way down to about 1.5 pounds up to about 7.5. That's certainly not a bad day's catch. A couple of what you call country boys.